Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Valerie Hunt, RunRx, Ask Me Anything. Let me adjust this real quick. So we've got a couple of great questions, and if you have a question, feel free to post it and I can see it in the comments. So the number one question I got this week was, how do I, the way they put it is, when I'm trying to run, how you say, it's really hard to maintain and I'm breathing too much. It feels like too much work. So great question. So it's all about controlling yourself as you fall forward. And then the second question was, I'm feeling some tension in my calf. So could you please help me with what should I do? So first of all, I just want to say, if this is your first time ever to come on to Ask Me Anything, I am really here to help people run pain-free. And this interaction is for me to get to talk to you guys. I know it's fun to watch the drills or see the picture, but most of all, people think that they're doing something, and it helps to know, am I thinking the right thought to help me feel? So first of all, let's just talk about breathing. So in running, just like when you talk, you don't really think about when you're going to breathe. You just do it when you need to. So you really want to get to that same place in running. And by the way, now that I said that, the next time you start talking, you'll think about it. That's just the way it goes. So the first thing is, how do I kind of time my breath with my run? So when you're first starting to maybe change a movement, like I'm just practicing the drills and I'm thinking about my running, a lot of times you'll hold your breath and you don't even realize it. So one of the things that you want to do is practice breathing when you're not running. Just like the running drills, we practice the skill drills and then we run. It's just practice running, right? So the same thing with breath. So breathing itself, when you run, it's really trying to, by the way, expand this way. Meaning, here, if you put your hands right here and you exhale in, hands here, your hands should go out this way. So it's, and exhale. Trying to keep it out of your neck and shoulders, so you should be able to even move your head. And out. See, I've got to practice this stuff because you need to have no tension in the upper body when you're running. So if all of a sudden I feel like I can't breathe, exhale. That's the first thing. So for me, what I do is I give my runners a running drill that includes a breath. So we'll go up, 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 exhale. Generally, you're breathing in, it's the exhale. So when the next time you're running and you feel like you're holding your breath or you feel really winded, try exhaling. It naturally will release tension. So not running, and I'm breathing really heavy, and I go, shake your arms out, reset, right? Get back into a rhythm. So for me, it's 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, and the whole time in the up, 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 or up, 2, 3, I'm inhaling. But I don't want to think it, is that I can drill. And this is important, by the way. So doing a drill, which I love drills, drills are just to help you feel what running should feel like, right? I don't want to spend my whole run counting and then breathing that I'm not running anymore, right? So remember, when you do a drill, it's to help you feel how to do that naturally in your run. So, but the other nice thing with the drills is that if I'm out running and all of a sudden I feel I'm running, obviously if you're winded, which is a good thing, it's a cardiovascular thing. So a lot of people, when they first start trying to practice the falling, because this is what it comes down to. If I'm trying to fall further than I can hold, my heart rate's going to go up, of course. And if I think that this is falling and I'm actually leading with my head and my neck, I'm also going to feel like I have to stop or I'm working too hard. It's a different kind of tired, but it's like a fake fall. Like you think you're falling and it's a little bit, scary. So one of the things that I'd like to go over today is this is a really fun, simple practice. If you would just bend your knees for a second and look straight ahead. So if you take your body just slightly forward, right, you should feel, when I'm slightly forward, your heels kind of come off the ground, your body weight's in the ball of the foot. For most people, this right here is enough fall for their run. So right now, like what you're feeling here, so you can practice breathing right here. And then this is kind of fun to help you kind of get a sensation of feeling that. Take your Either foot, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna take my right foot. So right now I've got my ears, shoulders, hips in line, my knees are nice and bent, and I took my body forward, center of mass, forward. So this is falling, having your body just go forward, right? So why am I not actually face planting? Well, because both feet are on the ground, so I'm balanced, right? So now I'm gonna show you the difference. If here I am free falling, and I pick up one foot, watch, you see? That's free falling on one foot is what running's all about. And so if I'm on the ground and my body goes forward and I simply pull my foot, you see I'm right back here in that pose ready to fall and pull again. So I'm going right into the calf question. Hey guys, good to see you. If I have tension, oh, this is perfect, Charlotte. If I get tension in my calf, what do you think happened from when I was here on the ground and my body went forward? What happened that would make tension in my calf happen? Well, for most people, it's called an active pull or push. So let's go with active pull, because for running for us, we're trying to pull our foot up from the ground. And pull is the opposite of push. So that means if I pull, my knee is bent. And if you could try it yourself, this is your hamstring. Your hamstring pulls the foot. Hamstring pulls the foot. See, the ankle comes right up under my hip. So it's very little effort. And of course, I wouldn't be bent over, but this is a great way to find your hamstring and let that hamstring do what it's supposed to do. It's weightless, by the way. So if you are doing something with your calf during the run, what it means is instead of pulling the foot up, you're doing this. You're putting weight into the ground and you're either pushing, which takes the leg back, or you're pulling, but you're late. So you're here and you go, you see, so if I do this where I go bend and then extend, if you do that at all on purpose, if you do that on purpose when the foot's trying to leave, you see it's gonna just put some tension on that calf. So let's have a little fun with what does it feel like in my run when my foot correctly pulls. All right, so that's what we're gonna do today. And this will, again, helps you to feel what pulling feels like during my run, but also like, never thought about it that way. And for a lot of people, because you've run for your whole life and even walking by putting body weight into the ground. So most people, when they walk, they push, right? So they're pushing into the ground and then they're reaching forward. Well, just think, if I've been doing that, that's so much work on my calf. So if I do that when I run, if I'm running, my body weight goes forward and I push, it's just gonna put stress on that calf. So I want you to feel how weightless that back foot is. So just bend both knees for me. Separate your feet slightly, and I want you to look down. See how my heel is lifted? So if your foot is flat, what I want you to do is take your body weight forward until you see the heel come off the ground. Okay, so that back knee's gotta be really, really bent. This knee's bent. My upper body is lifted, all right? Take your back foot, and if you need to, there's your hamstring, and it should feel weightless. You're gonna take your hips forward, and as you do that, pull your back foot. So I want you to feel there's almost no effort when you do that. When you put your foot back down, keep that knee bent. Here I'm gonna switch feet. So this is now my pull foot. See, my knee is bent, my heel's off the ground. I'm gonna take my hips, because falling, the whole body is falling. So fall and then pull. And you see, it's not really any effort in the pull itself. So when you run, what'll happen is you'll feel the foot touch down, and when you feel it, your response will be to pull, right? So you'll sense your body weight, and then you'll pull it. So I'm just making sure I never put any weight into the ground. So if you watch the knee, it's bent, and then here it is. So if I look down and I saw that, right? So let's see, it's hard for me to do that. But if I went, press, you see how it goes into my calf? and then I can't pull. So then it would look like this, press, pull. So you've got to stay bent, pull. So now I'm going to add one more thing to it. When we're running, there's impact because we're running. So right here in place, it's very nice to practice the aspect of pulling, holding my ears, shoulders, hips in line. That's really important because I'm holding this the whole run, and also how light pulling should actually be. So it really helps you to feel that. Because when you're running, your foot will be a little bit behind you. Your body's going to fall forward, and then you're going to pull your foot. So you have to be comfortable with two things. One, just that action of pulling, but also, what does it feel like to use muscle elasticity instead of, again, jumping? So this is important because when we run, if we jump, we're going to push, and that's why your calf is going to be sore. If I simply keep my knees bent and allow the calf to do what it needs to do, like I don't do anything, then you'll feel a lighter kind of tap. So let's just finish with this. You're going to bend your knees, and you're just going to do a little hop. So if I'm someone that is always getting a lot of tension in my calves or my plantar or even my shins, these hops help so much because when the foot touches down, so you pull your back foot, when this foot touches down, the more you can do this, you see? I didn't jump at all, but when the foot touched down, it was able to just pull right back up. That little sensation is what you're going to feel when you run. So your feet don't feel heavy, they feel like a little tap because your upper body's going forward, all right? So the best two drills not best, but two drills you can do for that. And then we can put it together. So separate your feet. I want you to do a little hop, okay? So your knees are nice and bent. Now you're going to take your back foot here and watch. Pull, 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 pull. Now pull just in place. Up, up, up. See, so it feels the same. Now let's try that on the other side. So separate your feet. Knees are bent. You're going to just hop. Knees are staying bent. Just a little hop. Now take your back foot. Pull, 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 pull. Now in place. You see, now when you fall, this is the secret right here. When you're going to fall forward, you have to fall as a whole line. So I like to put a magnet on your chest, put a magnet on your hips. They both go at the same time. So if you did it right, what you should have felt is the same exact pull, but as I start to travel, it just feels lighter. And of course, if I have more space, then my feet are going to separate more. So keep that in mind, that in this little space, we're just developing, sensation. When you're actually going to run, your pulls will feel even lighter, and you'll travel, because we all want to increase, stride length, right? So practicing that little bit. One, if I feel when I'm running that my pulls don't feel light, then you can think to yourself, my pulls don't feel light. What could I do? Well, first of all, check your upper body, right? This is kind of fun. I'll give you guys one last little thing. Hey, it's like to see if anybody asks a question. Okay. When you're running, and this is let me put the breathing back in for just a second. So this is kind of fun. I did this on Monday with my group. All right, everybody, just clear your head and pretend you have a jacket on, okay? I want you to zip your jacket. No thought on mine, but the zipper's right here below your belly, and ready, just zip your jacket, okay, with no thought. Now I'm going to ask you a question. When you did that, it's a good question. When you did that, when you zipped your jacket, did you feel like you pulled your belly in? Because a lot of people do that. And then this is, now you're going to get a jacket. Try to zip your jacket again. And what I want you to feel instead is that you're going to take your whole upper chest and lift up with the jacket or with the zipper. So if I have start here, zip, you see I lift it up. So no way am I pulling my belly in, I'm going upward. And this is important because when I'm running, right, it's not about adding any extra work. It's about taking work away. But this part, this zip kind of feeling and holding yourself up like this is the holding in run. You have to hold this the whole time. Ears, shoulders, hips, and they're here, and my rib cage is slightly ahead, elbows are back. So this part of your practice, you can do when you're walking, you can do when you're standing. This is the challenge, because once I'm comfortable with that, then as soon as I start to pull, I'm ready to start falling. The pull is after the fall. So if I feel my feet, first thing I should think is, let me adjust my fall and look for a fall point, right? So someone just asked, what if I have a hydration vest on? Anything that you add, my glasses, any loads you have will affect what? Your balance, right? So if I'm gonna wear a hydration pack, try to make it so it can be the most balanced. Like a lot of them now have a bottle on each side, same thing, or keep it to fill to a certain level. And then when you're training with it, it's the same thing. Now I have a little bit of extra weight here, so I'm gonna readjust my center, right? And use it to your advantage, because when you have a little bit of extra weight here, you can just let it help you fall a little bit, right? And a lot of that, you see that now, guys, they're putting a lot more, the bottle in the front used to be all the camelbacks were in the back, but that is a personal choice if you have it in the front or back. If you have to have weight in the back, it's the same thing. If I have weight on my back, just to make sure not to let my shoulders get behind the hips, so I gotta train to hold that still so I can still use gravity to fall. Because that's the thing, we can only fall from pose. So that means, what does that mean? That means my ears, shoulders, hips, lifted ankle. This is the line. Even if I'm really not, you don't have to pull all the way when you're running, but even if I'm here, it's this line. So even if it's like a tiny little movement, I've got to make sure I'm in my correct alignment. So it's a great question. If you have same thing, if you hold a bottle, right, that takes you off. So switch which hand you're holding. The more you can do to make yourself balanced is going to make you have a better experience overall. So that was a great question. All right, guys, I try to keep you on for about 15 minutes. So always say thank you so much for watching. So here's a couple of things. Right now, our membership is actually on pause. We're going to reopen really soon. We've got just a full brim of people. So what we'd like to do is make sure you know that anytime you want, you can come to our site and take the free quiz. In case something's going on in your run, shin splint, something going on, calves, and it will really help you, give you a skill, strength, and self-care you can add to your run. And then we always have the RunRx Reboot that's on YouTube. And that's fun to go through as well. It takes you through the practice and how to get that skill, strength, and self-care into your run. But most of all, guys, I love the interaction. Ask questions. I'll be back next week to answer. Have a great day. Thank you.